parents, guardians, and students to the Chapel Hill Chauncy Hall School commencement for the class of 2015. Thank you for joining us today on a very beautiful and increasingly hot day. I'd like to introduce some special guests that are with us. Commencement speaker, Senator Jim Nwobodo. Board Chair, Ms. Anna Colton. A strong contingent of trustees, including Dr. Margaret Allen, Ms. Sarah Forrester, Mr. Alden Harrington, Ms. Eileen Larkins, Mr. Todd Lemke, Mr. James Lipgon, class of 1997, Ms. Charlotte Merrill, Mr. Tom Mulvihill, Ms. Pat Nwobodo, Mr. B.J. Rudman, Mr. Bill Ryan, Ms. Kim Shaka, Ms. Ann Whitaker. Also, award presenters and special guests, Ms. Judith Clapp and Mr. Peter Emery. I would also like to thank members of the junior class for their assistance at this morning's ceremony. They include the two junior marshals, Nelson Andrade and Jasmine Crew, and the junior class ushers, Hillary Garcia, Tom Ho, Alexa Shaka, and Simon Weissman. I am honored to introduce today's commencement speaker, Senator Jim Nwobodo. First and foremost, Jim is the very proud father of Jim Jr., a member of the class of 2015, and soon-to-be student at Holy Cross, along with his twin sister, Pat. Jim Sr. is also the very lucky husband of Pat, a CHCH trustee. Beyond these important family ties, Jim Nwobodo is undeniably a charismatic and distinguished Nigerian statesman. As you will come to learn, Senator Nwobodo has repeatedly redefined himself and pursued several passions during his remarkable career as a leader in Nigerian business, sport, education, and politics. As a young undergraduate at University College, Ibadan, Nigeria, Jim Nwobodo made the most of his college experience by participating in many international student conferences. In particular, he represented Nigeria for 4 years as the only African student executive member of the World University Service at the organization's conventions. This was the first glimpse he had that led to a brilliant career as a politician and statesman. Soon after his graduation from the university, Jim Nwobodo was employed as a tutor at King's College in Lagos, and soon thereafter by Shell Oil Company and Shell BP of Nigeria as a development manager, a post he held throughout the Nigeria-Biafra War of the late 1960s. After the war concluded in 1970, with only 20 pounds in his pocket, which was the maximum amount of money available to every person from the Biafra section after losing the war, Chief Nwobodo embarked on a business career which flourished into a multi-million-dollar corporation with many divisions. The flagship of the Nwobodo Corporation is Link Group International, Limited. Since its incorporation in 1972, Link Group International, in association with Fisher Scientific, a leading American company in the field of scientific equipment, has supplied and serviced laboratory equipment for most of the universities and high schools in Nigeria. Another division is Link Pharmaceuticals, which represented Upjohn Worldwide in Nigeria, one of the 5 major drug manufacturing companies in the world. As a young businessman, Jim Nwobodo was a major financier of the popular Nigerian soccer club, Rangers International. He was appointed chairman of the club in 1975. 1 year later, the Rangers won the much coveted African Champions Cup, which today, of course, is called the Nelson Mandela Cup. Having attained successes in business and sports, Jim Nwobodo was persuaded in 1979 to run for governor of Anambra State, one of the largest and most populous states in Nigeria. He won by a landslide. Within 2 years of assuming office, Governor Nwobodo had rebuilt the war-torn state, using his proven business acumen to make the state of Anambra solvent. The catalog of his achievements is an eloquent testimony of the high esteem and touching adoration that the people of Anambra have maintained for their young governor. Perhaps the greatest achievement for Governor Nwobodo came in his first year of office when he founded the Anambra State University of Technology, the first technology university in Nigeria. His vision was to create a Nigerian version of MIT. Governor Nwobodo's political career was disrupted in 1983 by a military coup that overthrew the democratically elected government in Nigeria. All political leaders, including Governor Nwobodo, were thrown into jail. Jim Nwobodo was released after 4 years in jail, along with many others. He was then appointed the Federal Minister for Youth and Sports by the same military government that had incarcerated him. During Jim Nwobodo's tenure as minister, he led the Nigerian contingent to the 1996 Olympics here in Atlanta, Georgia, where the Nigerian soccer team, known as the Dream Team, for the first time in the history of Africa, won the Olympic gold medal. With Nigeria's return to democracy in 1999, Jim Nwobodo contested for the presidency of Nigeria and lost to President Obasanjo. Jim was then nominated to contest for a seat in the Federal Senate of Nigeria and won the election unopposed, as all other parties' candidates intentionally withdrew from the election. To date, Jim is the only Nigerian senator to have won a Senate seat without contest. The happenstance was a mark of Nigerian appreciation for his great achievements in public office. Senator Nwobodo has been honored with several distinguished awards during his life. Two are most notable: Commander of the Order of Niger, a national honor given by the President of Nigeria, and an honorary Doctor of Law degree by Anambra State University of Technology. Perhaps his greatest satisfaction in life, however, has been the joy his wife and children have given him. Please join me in welcoming this year's remarkable commencement speaker and forever a dearest friend of the school, Senator Jim Nwobodo.
Good morning. Good morning. This is a wonderful day. It's like I'm in Nigeria. The Chair Board of Trustees and faculty, Head of School, Lance Conrad, the Board of Trustees, faculty and staff, honorable guests, proud parents, and most importantly, graduates. I'd like to welcome you to this day. This is a very important day in your life. Let me start by congratulating the head of school, Lance Conrad, whose family made the East Dining Room in his honor for successfully completing his doctoral program at the University of Pennsylvania. Congratulations. I also congratulate your parents, teachers, for working hard to make this day possible. I sincerely thank the Chapel Hill Chauncy Hall community for giving me the opportunity to deliver the 2015 commencement address. But before I start, I have to make a confession. I almost did not attend this ceremony, and it would have been a disaster. And I was in a dilemma as to what to do. I was honored to be given this opportunity, but at the time I did not know that the historic swearing-in ceremony of the 6th elected civilian president of Nigeria, retired General Muhammadu Buhari, was going on to take place the same day. History was being made in Nigeria, and I was to be a part of it. This historic event took place yesterday. That was the first time in the history of Nigeria a civilian president handed over power to an incoming president elected on the platform of an opposition. Before now, all attempts made by opposition parties to take over government through the electoral process resulted in military coups and civil war. It is being referred to in Nigeria as the Abraham Lincoln Nigeria. The coming president, after his 4th attempt at the presidency in the democratic process. He tried 3 times and failed. And at the 3rd time, he said he wasn't going to contest again. He gave it up. But this time around, I said, right, it's not a doggedness. It's not the presidency. First, I am here because I solved the dilemma by being here today. I prefer coming here than being in Nigeria for that story. Because of you. First, to honor my beloved son, Jim. Where is Jim? Classmates, senior class of 2015, and to see this opportunity to appreciate the Chapel Hill Chauncy Hall community for the great job they do in shaping the lives of young men and women who pass through this school. Second, just wedding ceremony, indeed in the next 4 years, graduation was the graduation of class of 2015. Only happens once in a lifetime. You don't complain. I love poetry. And as a result, I always start my speeches with poetry and end with poetry. Let me start with Webster. If we walk upon marble, it will perish. If you walk upon brass, time will visit. If you react temples, they will crumble into dust. But if you walk upon immortal minds and instill in them just principles, we are then engraving that upon tablets which no time can replace. That's you. But with writing to all eternity. Congratulations. Just 3 stories to tell. No more than 3. If after 3, stop me. First story. I come from a very humble family. But as a child, I had big dreams. Indeed, big dreams. I did not allow my disadvantaged background to limit my aspirations or define who I would be in the future. I was determined to have a good education, up to university level, even when I knew my parents could not afford to send me to secondary school, top of university. At that time, schools were owned and run by the European missionaries, and one of the good things that did was to identify children with potentials for leadership and offer them scholarships. But primary education then was free, so I was able to have primary education. And without being sure of going beyond my primary education, I was still determined to actualize my dreams. I always loved soccer. Soccer is the best game in the world. Americans say no, Americans say it's American football. But I'm saying soccer is the best game. And have been playing in many competitions in my community. And my school team and I also sang in the choir. I was enjoying my soccer games and my singing, not knowing that my soccer coach and prime master had recommended me for this scholarship. After my primary school, I was awarded a scholarship to cover my secondary education. On my graduation from high school, I gained admission into the University of London in the Ibadan campus. Again, without being sure how to form my education. I had applied for scholarship from some missionaries, government and shelter children, and had gotten no response from any of them. I arrived at the university without $1. I repeat, without $1, no dollar in my pocket. And I appeared at the registration center without my fees. The registrar who was going to deny me registration turned me back. And I said, I'm not going back. I'm here already. I can't go back. He says, why? school fees. I said, I don't have school fees, but I'm not going back. I traveled a long distance to school and could not go back. The registrar was surprised. What's wrong with this boy? I burst into laughter. And after a long argument, I was allowed into one of the halls of residence. I found myself the best residence without a dime. About 10 weeks after, I received 2 scholarships. One from Shell and one from government. At the university, I got involved in Students' Union politics and was elected National Secretary of the Students' Union University. In the same year, I was elected the only African student executive member of the World University Service headquarters in New York, Sweden. The first thing I did in that position was to advocate and lobby for scholarship for students of countries. I was able to secure 50 scholarships for 50 students who would not have been able to complete their university education. It made me popular and earned me the nickname Restless Jim. I was indeed restless, not giving up, and took measured risks. In 1963, as a student union leader, I led a team of students from all the universities in Nigeria, the United States, where we had the rare opportunity to meet with the U.S. President then, John F. Kennedy, in the White House. And we later met his brother, Robert Kennedy, who was then the Attorney General of the United States. I remember asking Robert why his brother appointed him the Attorney General of the U.S. He told me that it was his brother's choice. I didn't go further. The meeting with President John Kennedy made a deep and lasting impression on me and my team. And on the 22nd November of that year, with that we heard that he was shot and died. All the university students in Nigeria were devastated, shocked. More than some Americans. My meeting with President Kennedy further fueled my determination to join the murky waters of politics. The lesson I want you graduates to learn. Dream big. Keep your dreams alive. Do not be deterred by the challenges you face in pursuit of your dream. If an African boy from a very poor family can lead students, including some affluent non-families, to meet the President of the United States in the White House that time, then definitely can do the same, or even better, if you can complete the craft. Most importantly, be courageous. Take some measured risks and follow your heart and intuition. Be restless. Be restless until you achieve your goals. My second story. On my graduation from university, I took up teaching job in a high school in Lagos, the best college in Lagos, King's College, Lagos. And 2 years after, I was employed by the Shell Petroleum. From there, I resigned to set a business and become an entrepreneur. But my interest in sports, particularly soccer, continued. In fact, as a child, I was marked on several occasions at home for abandoning my domestic chores for soccer games. Little did I know what the soccer prepared my political career. And I will tell you how it happened. My favorite soccer team, the Enugu Rangers, played an intercontinental league and reached the final. And Nigeria was to host that final. At the finals, the team was defeated summoned up courage, went down to the soccer pitch where the players were crying aloud. I cheered them on. I told them that the first video was not the end of their soccer career. But indeed, I was optimistic. I left my car behind and joined them in their bus that brought them to the field. Went with them to their hotel and found that the arrangements of the government had made to welcome the team was cancelled. I then took them to my home and had an all-night party for them to check. Again, I did that again. Again, the government planned to fly them by air from Lagos to Lagos. They were to have a bus ride for 8 tedious hours. I again changed the arrangement and then chartered a plane and flew back. The government then was a military government, a soldier. They refused to go. The governor called them and they refused to go because they were abandoned by the state. The only condition they gave the military governor was that I must take over the soccer club as chairman. Remember, we are talking about one of the best soccer clubs in Africa. I assumed the chairmanship and bore all the expenses of the club. That year, they won all their matches. 6 months later, there was a democratic election for governorship in the state. Because of the popularity of the Enugu Rangers International under my leadership, I was invited and drafted to run for the governorship of the state. The professional politicians who had hoped to claim the governorship ticket were shocked. The youths and women of the state declared that they wanted no other person than Jim. They were chanting, "We want Jim. We want Jim. We want Jim." Because of their interest in me, they led a delegation to the first president, who was the leader of my political party in the state, and told him clearly that the only candidate they would support was me. But John Langas agreed to that first. I was drafted into the governorship race as the candidate of the National People's Party to run against any other candidate, including those from the two most important, most popular parties. But Zeke called me and said, "Tom, son, are you sure you want to be a politician? Take all the meetings." He said, "Prepare those cases on what you prescribed freedom, on the other one right prison. If you are prepared to write those two things, those two cases, prison, freedom, I will support you." I said, "I'm prepared." And all the crowd that went with me said, "Yes, we are prepared." Then came the time when there was a coup. All those that were with me supported me. Exactly. I called my first friend. He said he was busy. He was traveling to Lagos. I called the second one. He said he was quite, the weather had just died and he couldn't make it. I called the third one. He said, "Look, please go there. I will join you later." Okay. I went there. Happy. Fighting. The lesson I want you to learn. Okay? First, as you start your life story, while keeping your eyes on your road, show empathy as much as you can. Encourage one another when in those fights. Second, lend a helping hand. Put a smile on somebody's face and smile. Third, be kind-hearted, only for a few times. And the rest assured is will always be helpful. goodness always pays off. It was Chauncy who said, no true permanent fame can be founded except in labors which promote the happiness of mankind. My third story is the final story. As governor of the old Anambra State, one of my greatest achievements was the building of many high schools like here. I built 40 new high schools. When I came in, there was just 2. I improved on them and established some colleges of education and polytechnics. But by far, my greatest achievement was the establishment of the Anambra State University of Technology, the first university of technology in West Africa. Such is the story of ASUTEC. Today, most great events in human experience have come. So did the ASUTEC take up 3 years after the London University, the institution produced the first computer system in Nigeria, and I launched it myself on 15th of March 1983. And as I speak to you today, this one university has metamorphosed into 3 full-fledged universities. The first is Music, Esut. The second is Nnamdi Azikiwe University. And the third is Ogun State University. One of the joys I have is that when I'm traveling, somebody comes up to me and tells me, good morning. So what are you doing? I'm just student. Another comes and tells me, I say, why? He said, I'm now a professor in Imperial College. I was a student college. It gives me joy. So education, if you spend time educating people, you are building the world. After my first 4 years as governor, there was a military coup. The soldiers overthrew the democratically elected government and took over power, and our democracy was not smooth, always interrupted. After that coup, the president, the vice president, the governors, all legislators were desperate, were detained and jailed. Shortly after that, I was invited by the same military government after 4 years to serve as the Minister of Youth and Sports in Nigeria. I then took the Nigerian team to the Atlanta Olympics in 1996. I don't know how many of you were born by then when I took them to the Olympics. Somebody is sitting ahead. They were not born by then, 1996. And that was Nigeria's most successful Olympic game to date. At the Olympic Games, the Nigerian soccer team won the first ever soccer Olympic medal in Africa, and it was called the African Dream. Again, that victory did not come easy. Nigeria had defeated all the qualified teams, including Brazil, and was playing in the finals with Argentina. My team suffered a major setback when in the first half of the game, Argentina had given us 3 goals to 1. And that was the first time my wife was going to watch a football match. She had not watched a football match in her life. And we went together and got there. We met the then FIFA president, whom I told that Nigeria would not be defeated. He said, Nigeria is gone. I said, no, sir. So at the half-time, the players went to the restroom room. We all went. As we were going to the restroom room, we were being booed, cheered, and we were asked to go back to your country. You're finished. But I told them, I'm not finished. Let's wait for the games. and we went on. One of them asked me, "Sir, do you believe in God?" I said, "Yes." "Okay. What?" I said, "Okay." We went in and defeated Argentina by 4 goals to 3. From 3 goals to 1 to 4, and we won it. The youngest members of the Nigerian team to Atlanta Olympic were little Jim and Pat. Is Pat here? Little Pat. That's me. Good. Little Pat. Yeah. They were 5 months old. Twins. They were 5 months old. And when we arrived, the president of the country then was so impressed. He carried Jim and carried Pat first and cuddled them, took all the shine from the players who kept wondering, why are they? But that's life. At times you work for it. So after they were carried away, the president now turned to the players. And now my tell and Canada. It will not all be rosy and successful. There will be hiccups, failures, and setbacks. But don't give up. Keep your eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes on the prize always. Leaders emerge, and some of you will be leaders. I see some of you will be leaders. During times of crisis and despair, and leaders emerge when they provide shoulders for others to cry on. When you find success, give back. Always remember your alma mater. How many of you will remember this school? When you go? How many of you? Only one person. I want to say, how many of you will remember this school? Good. You must remember this school. You must remember your teachers. Those who have made you what you are today. Without them, you will not be what you are. I would like you to stand up. I will travel. Clap for you because you will not forget this school. You will not forget this school. I will not forget this school. The great American statesman and philosopher and scientist, Benjamin Franklin, if you will not be forgotten as soon as you are dead, write things worth reading or do things worth writing. Again, I want to thank the chair, board of trustees, and other members, and staff. I will always remember this school. The important foundation of junior school. Let me leave you with this famous prayer. If you can keep prepared when all about you are living there and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for the doubt you, if you can dream and not make dream your master. If you can think and not make thoughts your wings. If is a meeting triumph and disaster. And treat those two imposters just the same. The walls of the earth and everything that is in it, and which is more, will be a man. Once again, congratulations, Chauncy. Good luck. Good job.
Thank you, Senator Novoa. You can have Jim Jr. pack that in his luggage on the way home. So Jia Blair Zhu came to us 4 years ago from China and has consistently impressed her teachers with her sincere intellectual curiosity and respect for the invigorating experience of learning for the pure joy of it. The curiosity and love of learning goes beyond the classroom, extending into sports, clubs, and even American popular culture. She did, in fact, choose her English name from a character on the television show Gossip Girl. Blair is a very serious student, and she knows how to have fun too. A leader on the volleyball court, a writer for the Charger Chronicle, and an active member of the National Honor Society. Blair's vivacious personality makes her an ideal teammate, classmate, and collaborator. Please welcome Blair Zhu.
Welcome faculty, staff, students, friends, and families to the class of 2015's commencement at Chapel Hill Chauncy Hall. I have attended the school graduation ceremony every year that I have been at CHCH. I still remember the first time I went to the graduation ceremony. I almost fell asleep while listening to the seemingly endless speeches. I didn't know what was really going on until the ceremony was over. My sophomore year, I understood what was happening better, and I was happy for all the seniors that they were finally done with high school. Last year was my third time attending the CHCH graduation ceremony. I cried. I cried so hard, hugged with my friends, and took pictures with them. I was so sad. It was like I was the one who was going to graduate. But time has gone by, and finally today is my day, the class of 2015's day. And I realized that I could not have known, even last year attending graduation, what you really feel like to be one of the graduating seniors. Right now, I feel nervous about this speech and also about the future. I feel disbelief that we have made it all the way here to graduation day. And while I feel happy to be taking this step, I'm also sad. Chapel Hill Chauncy Hall is full of my beautiful memories and has been the place that led me and taught me to assimilate myself into American life. After I arrived in CHCH, I found out that most Americans are not blonde, like I expected before. Steak is not everyday food. Taco with meat can be so delicious. And the ketchup became my favorite new sauce. As an international student, I was also surprised when I first found out final exams were not the majority of the final grade. The assessment of final grades is usually divided into class participation, quizzes, tests, and projects. Since then, class participation became my nightmare. When I was in Mr. Riggs' English class, the most frequent comment Mr. Riggs wrote down on my progress notes was for me to participate at least once per class. In later months, that comment surprisingly disappeared. I think Mr. Riggs had already given up. But even when faced with challenges, what I like the most about CHCH is that I feel very comfortable and happy for living and studying here. Not only CHCH teachers and students are nice, but also there are many variety of interesting outside activities. My first year's afternoon activity was drama performance. I like it, although I spend most of the time backstage. In these past 4 years, our school's musicals like The Sound of Music, Beauty and the Beast, and Fiddler on the Roof obtained consistent high praise. This is something our whole grade can be proud of. Chinese softball was also a challenge for me because before I came to America, I only saw people play it on TV and I didn't know the rules at all. When I was practicing to catch the ball at home before the season began, my mother threw the ball straight at my face. It really hurt, but Mom, I still love you. This year, the softball team won the IGC co-championship, which is another huge accomplishment that our grade can look back on. But even more important than producing excellent plays or winning championships has been the process of learning about ourselves and about each other. I have been playing volleyball for 3 years, and what I will remember forever will not the games we won or lost, but the teamwork. And working with Miss White, the best coach ever. I will remember having fun during volleyball practice, and that I enjoyed being a part of the team, not for making waves, but for making memories with my classmates, the class of 2015. Besides the afternoon activities, our school holds many community service events. This is something else that we have accomplished, but also something that taught us about life and ourselves. This year we joined the Work for Hunger, which was organized by 10th grade. 2 weeks ago, Relay for Life was conducted successfully. Just last week, students and faculty actively participated in the Red Cross blood drive. We have learned that when we care for others, we make ourselves better. And then when we care together, we make the whole community better. Over our 4 years at CHCH, the class of 2015 has always kept trying to do many new things. Some of these very difficult things. When we arrived here, we had never met before, but we never say no to new experiences and new friends, and we have stayed strong together. We should be proud of what we have done in the past years and appreciate that we have had a great opportunity to meet each other. Now we are moving to the next life stage, but we don't have to be worried and scared about what might happen, because we know we can handle it. Just do what Dr. Conrad always says, make good decisions. Congratulations, class of 2015. Thank you.
Taylor LaRoche came to Chapel Hill Chauncy Hall in the fall of 2011, eager to make a mark in this small community. Taylor is almost blindingly bright, quick-witted, and ambitious. She has been recognized in languages, sciences, and the humanities for excellence, and she's also an incredible performer, earning starring roles in many musicals and plays, on campus and with local professional companies. Taylor's ability to capture the attention of an audience has served her well as a peer support leader, a member of the National Honor Society, a leader of the GSA, a member of student government, and as a tour guide in our Calendar program. She is a critical thinker, conscientious student, and a true leader on campus. Please welcome Taylor LaRoche.
Fellow graduates, families, teachers, friends, trustees, the time has come. We never thought we would make it to this day, and yet, here we are. You can feel the wide range of emotions in the atmosphere. We're excited, and we're scared, and we're nervous, and we're giddy, and we just want to get our diplomas already. Before this happens, I have been given the honor of a few minutes to speak to you all. I can't tell you how long I've agonized over what to say to you. I wish I was as confident as Blair to be funny, or as suave as Niccolo to speak off the cuff, but those are not my strengths. So I'll just do my best to leave you with a positive message. As I'm sure you all know, and if you didn't before, you do now, I have been very active in the theater department here for all of my 4 years. So to no one's surprise, I will now begin by referencing a play. I'm sorry. In our latest play here, Our Town, I often sat down and considered the words of Thornton Wilder. My character, the stage manager, was the most inconceivable and enigmatic character I have ever played, and there were many lines about which I had to think very long and hard. Today, however, I will be talking about the words of a different character, Emily Webb. In the third act of the show, Emily dies. When her spirit joins the others in the graveyard, she is urged to forget her previous life and put her mind to her new purpose. She then asks how she can possibly let go of her life on Earth, because it is all that she has ever had. Despite the obvious differences between the play and our lives here now, I found this question extremely relatable. We, as soon-to-be high school graduates, are being asked to leave behind childhood and grade school and the shelter of our parents. This terrifies me, and maybe one or two others. All we've ever known is childhood. How are we supposed to live differently? I'm not asking for an answer, as I'd imagine there really isn't any one answer for any one person. I am only trying to let my fellow students know that they are not alone. Everybody here under this tent is extremely excited for the next 4 years. Everyone here is also extremely terrified. In this, we are not alone. CHCH has made a wonderful family for us all, even though we may not always be mindful of it. That's why we're all still here, and that's why we'll all be graduating in just a few minutes. CHCH has truly taken to heart the idea that no one is alone. It is dedicated to making every student know this and feel this every day. I hope that you will all take this idea with you wherever you go. Everyone has someone, even the people we don't get along with. No one in this world is alone. I hope that you will be assured that you have someone to lean on, be it your family, your friends, or your teachers. And I hope that you will be that person for many others in your life. People often say that college is a time to find yourself. While that may be true, and I know we all look forward to it, I hope you will each remember that while you are searching, so is everyone else around you. Remember your support system here, and be that support system for others. That being said, please enjoy yourselves. Not only is this an incredible time in our lives, the fact that we're living is incredible. Stop and breathe once in a while. Take care of yourself and appreciate all that is done to get this far. We have worked for 12 years to get here. That is 12 years of homework and tests and notes and projects, and that's amazing. Remember those 12 years fondly and look forward to the next 12 years with excitement. But most importantly, love this very moment right now. Not necessarily the moment of graduation, but the moment that you are currently in and all of the moments that will follow. So in our last few minutes as the senior class, let's all be that support system, that family for each other, and let's enjoy it. Let's all be thrilled and petrified and nervous and ecstatic together